Alright guys, so in this video, which is a one-part series of 3, we have 3 fat Xbox 360s here. And we're going to go through one by one and see, do they all work? Now they should work, and hopefully in this video you'll see they're all in okay condition, and they do at least work. They might have some disk drive issues and whatnot, but you can see my personal 360 just a second ago in the background, which does have a Jasper board, and I have all 3 power supplies, so we should be able to test all 3 in this video. Now I do want to test them in this tote, just as a safety precaution in case, a bunch of dust flies around and stuff, just because I have to do it indoors. I can't do it outdoors because of how cold it is. But you can see by this first Xbox 360 that we have here, it is a white console, which you will see in a minute. It has a custom faceplate, and there is a hard drive on this one. You can see there the custom faceplate, and it is pretty dirty, but I think it can be cleaned up with a good little bit of TLC, which honestly is pretty cool custom faceplate. I would not mind honestly having that on my Xbox 360, but I'm also kind of a sucker for the color blue, so I don't know if you can really discredit me there for wanting a blue faceplate. But you can see the hard drive here. It looks to be authentic. I really don't know how to tell the difference between real and fake Xbox 360 hard drives. So if you do, let me know in the comments below. And you can see the service date on it is 2006, and it only has an AV port. Now I did originally think that this was a Xenon motherboard. However, you will see shortly, I did try a 203 watt power supply, but it ended up not working. And you can see that the 360 seal under the faceplate here has been at least cut open. They left it on, but just tried to leave it there. So it definitely has been open before. But now you can see my TV is on, and it is in composite because, of course, we can only use composite since this does not have an HDMI port. And this is a little bit of a lesson for basically anybody, even though I'm struggling here with the power button, that you will see the red ring here in a minute, but don't be fooled, because one red ring means one thing, another red ring means another thing, and then there's a third red ring that means a completely different thing. So it does want to turn on here. Actually, it might be a video coming up where it actually red ring, come to think of it. I thought it was this one, but maybe one of the other 2 consoles. So you can see it does power up here in the 4:3 aspect ratio, which isn't surprising as it does have only AV. And you can see my third-party controller has to have a dongle plugged into the front. That's why that's hanging out of it. Now there is a profile on it, which is grayed out, which leads me to believe this isn't the original hard drive with it. Of course, we are on Metro, but it looks like an early version of Metro dashboard due to the Xbox Live logo. And I will say, I am very inexperienced when it comes to the Xbox 360. So please understand that I have a little bit of a problem navigating the UI here. But we went down and to the console settings to see what version we're on, and that is the dashboard number, which does appear, at least from the copyright, that seems to be from 2012. So if that's true, like I said, it's a very early version of Metro, like right out of NXE. So that's that. But you can see the console is staying on. Now I will show in a small clip towards the end, it has to be bolt modded, because this thing, it is so loud, the fan. And I mean, I've never had a 360 in my presence that have been bolt modded, but this one I believe does. You can see we checked the system storage there, and it does appear to be a 20 gig hard drive. It has 1 game on it, which is Viva Pinata TIP. Never heard of that game, but it does appear to be a full game on the console. And you can see whoever had this console had 8,000 gamer score, with a message here that says Head Planet Earth, and it is from Florida, which is where I did buy these consoles. So you can see also some of the games that they played here, the last game they played was that Viva Pinata game back in 2014. And there's actually a lot of save data from 2014. And they played a total of 78 games according to their profile. And the first thing that they seemed to play was Guitar Hero World Tour back in 2012. So they only had this 360 about 2 years, which is interesting. And the fact that it did not red ring was also interesting. And I'm pretty sure that I used the 175 watt for this console, which was also surprising as well. But it does appear to be working pretty good. Now we will test out the disk drive, which all of them were a little bit iffy with the disk drive, but you can see from me smacking it that it did want to open, but then it closed. Now eventually here I will get it open, and then we can test a game with it. But of course, I don't know if that's the faceplate not making a good connection with the eject button, because of course I did have issues with the power button. But of course, if you ever have a 360 where you can't get it to turn on, or I'm sorry, I mean the disk drive won't open, definitely try giving it the smack. But you can see that I eventually got it to go. And for this video, we will be testing out Minecraft for the 360. I have 2 copies of this actually, so I figured why not go ahead and test it out. And usually the 360 drives do work if you can get them open, and that's really the only problem with them, is just trying to open up the tray. But sometimes after they get open, they start working for quite a while, and opening and closing perfectly fine. I did have some problems kind of reading the game at first, like it acted like it was still open or closed. So I would say more than likely the band will probably need replaced on it, and that's usually the only issue with these fat Xbox 360s, is that the rubber band around the gears on the disk drive is usually just worn out. But you can see the game is loading up perfectly fine, so that leads me to believe the disk drive is okay. It didn't make any weird sounds while it was spinning up, and the laser seemed to be reading the disc okay, and it wasn't like skipping or anything. So that is good in and of itself. Now I don't know if, it's just an older version of the 360 because it's an older dashboard. But I will say I've never seen the startup screen before where it tells you about new things like the end. I mean, it doesn't show me that on my 360, although mine is on a later dashboard. But it did start up the game and we were able to play, but there was no save files. So let me go ahead and show you now how loud this console actually is, because like I said, I've never had a Bolt Mod console before. So anyway, there's a little snippet of how loud that console was. But part 2 is coming up soon, so stay tuned for that, and I will see you guys in the next one.